Well, welcome to Train Sim TV and a news update for you today. It is the Class 86/2 Loco add-on for TSW 5 from Just Trains. Obviously, I'm part of the Just Trains team, so this is just me going over the article, just showing you what DTG have put out, and also I will cover the Just Trains side as well, which there's been a little bit extra put onto the JT website, so we'll cover that also. So there's nice screenshots, there's some text information, there's some bits and pieces that you haven't seen before as well. One of them already on that first screenshot there, you see the buffet. It hasn't been seen until today, so you'll get to finally see the RMB Mark 1 Buffy coach, which has been a highly sought after piece of rolling stock ever since the dawn of time of Train Sim World in the UK content. So the image you see there is the DTG key art, so I can tell it's the DTG art where they put their editing onto there and make it all look nice and fancy, and I like that picture. I'm quite chuffed when we saw that. But moving on, so tap into the British AC traction with the BR Class 86/2 services on the West Coast Main Line. Just Trains' latest add-on is coming soon. The story so far. So first of all, you see a screenshot here is actually one that's been seen before, I believe. I think this is quite an early shot, to be honest. This is one of the early play renders after it was textured. Basically, this is in the editor. It's not actually in the game at this point, but you'll get lots of pictures as we scroll through here. So that is just one of the examples, and you can see on this one. So this is this hasn't actually got the center headlight, so it's not got anything like the rally light, the little special lamp which is on this. There's no high intensity. This literally is just the mark lights on the old headcode box. Got me put my teeth back in. You can see also some other details on it, like the weathering on the roof. You can see some other details such as the red buffer beam there. So there's just a few little details. I can't lie me to remember which variation of the Intercity Executive this is. It could be IC1 or 2, I forget. There's that many different ones, so I do apologise for not having them at hand for you. So the story so far goes on. So we've already been talking a bit about the Just Trains first Trains World Loco add-on, as they have in their development blogs, so there is a link there. This article I will put in the link as well, so you can have a scroll and a mooch yourself. But first of all, it was actually included in their season of reveals. If I don't know how well this is going to work. Works. So where was it? Where was the first teaser? There. But there was the first proper look of the pack itself there, showing off each of the pantograph variations as well, and a selection of liveries, just to whet the appetite. Now this has gone terribly wrong because I need to move that to there. So it was showing, I think, 3 liveries at first. We held some of the liveries back to like later dates. So you started getting more and more drip fed to you as the time went on. So if we go to the January 25 roadmap there, you can see there's a link to that. I'm not going to go through all these because you can go and do this bit yourself. The main thing is we're going to go through to the new exciting stuff. So first of all, straight away there is the final livery that was not shown until today. This is a one-off livery, and it is Laurence Olivier. It's 86233, and it has a white roof or grey roof, however you want to look at it. It was done to commemorate, I think, the anniversary of something of Intercity. We've got it in there. I'll cover it in a minute when we get through to the text properly. But the Class 86 brings additional challenges to the stunning West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle route, as well as new variety in the form of British Rail's Mk2F Coaches, another sought after piece of kit that people have always wanted to see in the game, so we've got them coming. The Class 86 entered the service in the mid-1960s after years of testing different designs to run on the newly electrified West Coast Main Line. Known originally as the AL6, it would become the first mass-produced AC locomotive for a new fleet of 100 examples to be built. that came across different subclasses, not just 186/2s, just to put that out there. There is a good number of them though. I can't remember how many as such, but there is a fair few. There's I think at least 50. There might be more than 50 to be honest, because I know 86259 is Peter Pan, which is also in the modern world. We know 86259 is Les Ross, which is in the very striking that electric blue with white roof livery. But that is not included in this pack because it's wrong era. But you do still have Peter Pan in there. It's just in its 80s, guys. So you see there's a cab shop. That's just going north out of Preston, so that's the first few miles out. But you can see the difference. A few differences just to note on this in the cab. So you get 3 windows on the front rather than 2 like you do on the 87. You've got different tape, for example. That's not really much. But this is you get some different tape on your power handle and reverser there. A couple of different other bits and pieces to note is the plated on the under the window. You see 3 plated over panels. That was for the old head code box winders to wind head code that you were going to display in the earlier days before they got converted to be plated over with marker lights. Another little thing to note is to do with the tap changer. So you get less notches on the tap, I believe, and you've also got one less on the right hand side of the gauges. So it's just literally for the one, because you can't work these in pairs. They work on their own. They're not geared to be worked in like pairs or freights or anything like that. There may well have been very rare examples of them working on a freight, but it would have been very, very, very rare, I believe, because say they're not geared for it. Lower power output, lower top speeds and stuff like that. Over time, a revision to the suspension was undertaken to solve issues of rough riding and track wear. These changes resulted in what became known as the 86/2 subclass, being the precursor of the Class 87. The Class 86/2, with less horsepower, was capable of 100 mph, which makes for a more challenging driving experience. Other differences from the 87 include a plated overhead code box with distinctive windscreen, which we just mentioned. In more recent years, both Class 87 and Class 86 have seen some international service in Europe, predominantly in Bulgaria, where some are still used on freight trains under various operators today. They are actually still in service. If you look on like YouTube and stuff, you can find videos and stuff, and it's quite interesting. I think there was a load of 86s /6s that only recently got exported over overseas, and still been, I think, converted to work on their network there. It's nice they've still got life. It's a shame that over here still, but we do have a couple of Class 86s left on the main line. I think West Coast have got one. Obviously there's Les Ross, and then you've got, I think LSL have got either 1 or 2 as well, so there's a few examples left. But this is 225 Hardwick in this picture. If you look on the nose, that has got the rally headlamp. It's a one-off lamp, which is only seen in Hardwick, which is 225. Quite a cool little lamp, and if you can remember back, that was the very first sort of... It featured on the very first teaser that we put out with DTG way back. Can't remember what it was, but it was a while ago. So the eagle-eyed did notice what it was, because people did find out what it was in the end. It was quite interesting to watch people guess and figure it out. But that is that one. Operating the Class 86 in game will be a challenge for new and existing players on the West Coast Mainline Preston's Carlisle route. The locomotive works in a similar way to the Class 87 with a tap changer control that requires a degree of planning to manage speed limits, stops and gradients. There is a lineup as well of many examples of the pack. See all the differences with the blue ones. You've got one with just markers, you've got the high intensity, and then the rally lamp, and then you've also got one of the intercity liveries there as well. Which one's your favourite? Why don't you pop a comment in the chat? Be interesting to see what people are looking forward to driving. Again, there's another picture here for you to peruse over. So unlike the 87, however, the Class 86 has less power, As a result, poor timing with the power before the climb up to shaft can result in time lost, as the train builds speeds slower than expected. Again, another variety of city executives there. All their lights, different like marker boxes with all black surroundings there. You got RCH jumpers, some without. It's great for variety when you up and down the route, I can assure you that. The Class 86 has a fully accessible engine room. It's called a machine room technically, but this is where the DSD isolation switch is located. And a detailed weathered cab also comes with 2 liveries of BR Blue and Intercity Executive with specific details implemented on individual locomotives, such as those on City of Coventry, detailed in the March roadmap. I can't remember which one that was. You'd have to go back and have a look. Also, just to note as well, in the machine room, there's loads of other things. It's not just a DSD isolation switch, but that is where you would need to go in your journey to put that on. But you can isolate motors and you can turn switches off. There's loads of stuff you can do in there. Go and have a play and turn things off and see what you can do. If you turn some motors off, that'll be interesting. Just to put that one out there. Included are several external variations of the 86/2, which feature changes such as 2 different types of pantograph, RCH cables, a centrally mounted high-intensity headlight, and a single rally light uniquely fit to 86225. The eagle-eyed amongst you will remember this light from our first ever teaser image for the 86/2. Amongst the numerous liveries included the locomotive number 86233 named Lawrence Olivia is unique in the fleet for having a white cab roof at both ends during the mid-1980s. Distinctive marking was applied to commemorate the 21st anniversary of the creation of Intercity. There you go. So that is the 86 itself. I'm gonna get some liquid because my mouth's drying up. Onto the Mark IIs, the Mark 2F Coaches and the Mark 1 RMB. There's the first picture there, some of the gangway end details. Also included in the pack are the Mark 2F Coaches in the BSO, TSO and FO variants. The air-conditioned Mark IIs were a mainstay of many long-distance passenger trains after their introduction in the 1970s, and have seen use ever since in service, engineering and in rail tour duties. And there it is, the Mark 1 RMB buffet. The feature coach, Class 86/2 is the much requested BR Mark 1 RMB buffet car. RMB standing for Restaurant Miniature Buffet. The RMB is basically a British Railways Mark 1 TSO, which is a tourist standard open coach, where the central vestibule seating area has been replaced with a buffet counter, a small seating area with standing space and store cupboard either side of this normal full seating area. The Mark 1 RMBs were built between 1957 and 1962. There are still quite a few in service on heritage railways across the UK. Also, obviously on rail tours you'll see these in bits and bobs as well. The RMB features the Intercity Executive and the BR Blue Grey liveries. You can see there is the counter, all stocked up and ready to go, with sandwiches and soft drink, crisps and other bits and bobs. When you enter the RMB, make your way to the buffet area, where behind the operating roll shut door you will see fully stocked up areas with a great variety of top quality curly sandwiches and fresh yesterday pork pies in 2 sizes, bags of crisps, bottles of soft drinks with flavours such as apple, orange and berry. That's just an overview of the seating area there. If you've got a sweet tooth, you can choose between various chocolate bars and even mint cake. If you fancy a biscuit, we've even got those. If you want to be exotic, there's even Turkish delight. All these are ready for your delectation, served by you, served for you by the friendly and helpful steward. Let me put my teeth back in. Timetable services and additional gameplay. So there's another screenshot there of a set rounding through Penrith. Both the Class 86 and the Mark II coaches will substitute into the current West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle timetable in place of some of the Class 87 haul services. That meaning is there was a lot of 87s on the timetable, way more than there should have been. So cross-country service will see the 86 put into place. 87s will be relieved. You won't have so many duplicates. The timetable for the West Coast Main Line Preston to Carlisle has 87 Class 87 services running cross-country trains across the route. These will be substituted by the 86 locomotives, as would have been in the case of during the period. Those of you as well that have already got the route will have had the update the other day. It preps basically the route ready for the pack. So at the minute you'll still see the normal stuff in there with the 87s. However, if you would go then to purchase this pack when it comes out, it'll put the 86s and the new coaches into place. If you don't have this pack, you'll still see them services with the 87 on, is my understanding. As the Class 86/2 was not a common feature on freight services, these will all continue to be 87 hauled. I always applaud DTG for getting some good screenshots. Five new scenarios will also be available to play on the route, ranging from a football special out of the map to Wembley to represent England playing against Scotland during April 1986. Others include a delayed service which requires some rerouting, and the southbound express train bound for London requires some assistance. Can you take on the challenge? Players keen on making use of the Mark 1 R&B will also be able to do so in Formation Designer, along with the Mk2F Coaches and the Class 86. With these coaches, they can all be spawned in on free roam. Creator World 5's Class 86/2 and Mk2F Coaches is releasing soon for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Epic Game Store and Steam for £19.99, €24.99 or $24.99. Learn more on the Just Trains development blog entries, which is linked there. There's also a teaser which has already been put out. That's the West Coast Main Line trailer video. Just some bits and bobs there about the West Coast Main Line, which we're not going to bore you with, and that's also a section just at the bottom regarding the new free liveries for West Coast Main Line, which came in part of the patches the other day. I'll cover that on another video moving forward very soon. So I'm just going to park that. I'm just going to go to the Just Trains page for a development blog and some extra screenshots not seen. Some of them I think have been seen, but there is a couple of extras and some more text. I think, to be honest, the text might well be the same, so I'm not going to go through that. I'm going to cover the screenshots mainly because, to be honest, I'm not going to read the same text out, but I'm going to show you these screenshots. Which have been included as a nice selection. So you can see the buffet there in the BR Blue. You can also see that the numbering on the bottom is wrong. That has been fixed. It's been put back and fed back, and it has been fixed ahead, so it will be right on release. I don't know when these pictures were taken, but they were done before and we never even noticed, but it's all been sorted. Another overview there of the buffet, Intercity, and then some internal shots looking all the way through there. It just gives you a glimpse of what they look like all the way through. As I say, some of these we've seen, but there's a lot we haven't seen here. Another view there. And there's the counter. An overview, you can see there to the right hand side, you can see some of the sandwiches, the pork pies. You can also see there's a menu over there as well. You can't quite read it, but no doubt it's worth looking at when you do come to get hold of the pack. And then there's a few screenshots of the extra livery that's been put in, which is Lawrence Livia. And then there's just some final lineups of the stock again there. I hope that's wet the palette there and got you geared up for when this comes out. There'll be further details, obviously, through DTG, so keep your eye out for that. Links are in the description if you want to go and have a further read for yourself and have another look at them pictures. But thank you very much for joining us on this news video, and we'll be back again very soon for another one. And we're back to our normal videos again very soon also. Until next time, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit your notification bell for future videos, and catch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/trainsym_TV for a wide variety of content. Until next time, thank you for watching, and bye bye.